What's going on, everybody? Almost Counts Collectibles here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Mighty Morphin Ninja Rangers from Season 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now these figures actually debuted in 1995 along with the Mighty Morphin Ninja Ranger storyline when the power of the Ninjetti and Ninjor and everything came along. And these were actually the very first figures in the 5-inch line of Power Ranger figures to feature any kind of battle action. Now, the Automorphin figures did have a spring action, but all they did was simply morph to their helmets. They didn't have any actual fighting action that took place. These were actually the very first figures to feature that. Now, each one of the 6 Rangers features a different kind of action, and they all came with different weapons. Now, I do like these figures. I think the overall look of them look great. They look just like the Ninja Rangers. I thought everything was fairly well proportionated, and the overall look of them in their ninja outfits actually look pretty good, and they display quite well. My issue with these figures actually lies in the accessories and the battle actions themselves. So all of the weapons that actually come with the figures, which are, I mean, they're fairly cool looking and they're very ninja-esque for the most part, if you will. But none of these weapons were actually featured in the show. The Ninja Rangers never used any of these weapons that are included with the figures. So that kind of takes it away from me. Personally, I mean, it's nice to get extra accessories and things like that, but I don't display my figures with any of their accessories in the display case because it just kind of looks out of place. They never actually used any of them, and I just keep them in a baggie to keep them all together and nice and neat. But I will show you all of the individual weapons. So each Ranger actually did get 2 basic weapons. Some of them, such as Billy, he comes with 4 to 5 discs. So if you want to count that as all individual weapons, by all means, but I'm just counting it as 2. He comes with his discs and another weapon. So we'll take a look at each one of those and what each of the actions of each of the figures actually do. And at the end, I'll show you what they look like when they were freshly sealed in the package. But for now, we'll go ahead and get started, and we will take a look at the White Ranger first. So here we have White Ranger Tommy. Once again, I think overall the figures look great. In their ninja outfits, I think it works well. It looks good. They stand up well, and the overall look is just great on these figures. But my problem, once again, lies in that battle action. Because of the battle action, their articulation is a little limited, even more so than usual. And I really like articulation in my figures. So these figures are very limited in that aspect. Now, when it comes to their legs, their individual feet right above their boot cuff right here will actually spin around. So you can spin those, and then the leg itself not only bows out, but it goes back and forth on kind of like a little pivot ball. So that's pretty good. I mean, it works well enough for display and stances and stuff like that, but there isn't a lot of articulation really anywhere else. So their arms actually go back and forth for the most part on all of them. There is no ball articulation or anything like that in the actual shoulder joints. And then for the most part, some of their hands will actually spin, but not all of them. So I believe maybe 3 or 4 other Rangers actually have some articulation right above their gloves, but some of them don't, such as Tommy here. His hand actually doesn't spin, so all you get is that back and forth on the arm. There is no waist movement. So that doesn't move, which is pretty typical for the 5-inch line anyway. There is no head movement. The heads don't move left or right or anything like that. And then over here, when we talk about Tommy, his kind of directly relates to his battle action, but his other hand will spin, but that's because of his action. So on Tommy, when you press his lever on the back, it causes his right arm to actually spin around. And that is for his weapon. So Tommy has like this, it's almost like a mace, but it's on kind of a chain. So kind of a ball and chain / mace weapon here that he holds in his hands, and he twirls that around. His little, spiky mace ball right here. And then in one of his other hands you can put on, he's got this little double-bladed dagger almost, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know if this is meant to look like it shoots these out. It doesn't, of course, but this is his other weapon that attaches to his hand. So once again, the overall look, I do like them. They display very well. I don't use their weapons when I display them, but the articulation does suffer because of the additional battle action, and some of them just look a little awkward, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. But that was White Ranger Tommy, so we'll go ahead and set him back here in the lineup. Let's go ahead and talk about Billy. So Billy, right here, once again, looks good. I think he displays well. I like the ninja outfits. We'll talk about the accessories. So his accessories include these 4 discs right here. So these little discs that he's supposed to launch, and I'll show you how in just a second. And then he has this little grappling hook looking weapon right here that also comes with it. I'm assuming this is supposed to look like this grappling hook actually launches out, which once again, it doesn't, of course. But that is his other little weapon. Now these discs are made to go inside of his hand. So they fit down inside right here of this little cutout. If you guys can see that good in the camera, and you're supposed to put the disc in there, and he kind of holds it briefly. If you stick it in there far enough, just like so. All right, and when he holds his disc, and I'm not going to do it too hard because I don't want to fling this across the room, but when you hit his lever, he's supposed to, if you do it hard enough, he flings his arm out real fast, and the discs are supposed to shoot. Now, over the years, I'm sure that action, I'm sure all of their actions will get a little worn out. These are actually still in very good shape. So for the most part, they are still in very good working condition. I have seen several of these over the years, and it seems like in some way, shape, or form, their action still works. Now, I'm sure if you took it apart and maybe relined a gear or something like that, you could fix a non-working one. But the mechanics on these seem fairly simple. So unless you actually broke the gears because you were being extremely rough with it or something like that, I think these held up pretty well to the test of time. So that is Billy right there, the blue disc launching Ninja Ranger. And we'll set him back in the lineup with his accessories. Let's go ahead and check out Kimberly since she's right here. So this is Kimberly. Once again, great looking figure, displays very well, which is what I love about these figures. I mean, all of them pretty much have that going on for them. But Kimberly's battle action is actually one of my favorites. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what she does. If you actually bring Kimberly's hands up, you will see that she has these little holes right here on the end of her hand. And if we take Kimberly's net, which has 2 of these missile-looking pegs on each of the top corners right here, and we actually place that in the holes right here on Kimberly's hands, and we angle her arms up just a little bit here. All we have to do is press down on the lever on Kimberly's back, and she will actually launch this net. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, maybe without launching it off the table. But if you angle her up, that actually gets a pretty good little distance, especially for as heavy as this net is. And I actually like that. I thought hers was one of the cooler little actions. She also comes with this little boomerang looking weapon that you can put on the tops of one of her hands. So that is her battle action. And surprisingly enough, even with her using both of her hands for her battle action, you can even still rotate her hands all the way around, which I thought was pretty cool. And her arms go up and down. No elbow movements or anything like that, of course. No head movement, no waist movement. Her feet also move back and forth like the others. And then her legs are on those pivot points at the hips. So that is Kimberly, the pink net launching Ninja Ranger. We'll go ahead and set her back there. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Rocky. Now, Rocky, so for articulation, we've got movement in the legs right here at the bottom for the feet, right there above the boots. Same thing with the legs. And then we can actually move both of Rocky's hands, pivot them right there at the top of the gloves. No head movement. Now, Rocky's arms will actually go up and down, back and forth, and up and down, like this right here. But Rocky's battle action, basically he just flails his arms kind of up and down, and I'll show you here real quick. So when you press down on his lever, he literally just brings both of his arms up and down, which I don't really have a problem with that. I have a problem with the way that his arms are kind of like bowed out. He kind of looks like a monkey. I mean, obviously that is his ninja animal. And he kind of looks like that standing there with these big, burly arms kind of angled out and down like this, and he just flails them up and down. So I don't really care for his combat action because of the way that they've made his hands look because of it. Now, if his arms looked like halfway normal arms, as far as their stance goes, he might look better. But this also impedes his look a little bit for display because his arms are like that. And I don't know, Rocky's probably my least favorite because of it. But Rocky comes with a pretty cool sword, actually. It looks just like the Shogun Megazord sword. And then he also comes, I don't know if this is supposed to be a shield. It even has the little symbol right there in the middle, just like the Battleborgs and their weapons. So I don't know if this is supposed to be a shield or some kind of, four-bladed throwing disc. I'm not really sure, but very Battleborg-esque of the look of Rocky's weapons. But these are the weapons that he holds one in his hand, the other one goes on the top of his hand, and he flails his arms up and down. So Rocky's probably my least favorite, just because of the silliness of his arms and the way that it looks, especially for display. So that is Rocky. Let's go ahead and set him back in the lineup. All right, let's go ahead and check out Adam, the Black Ninja Ranger. So for Adam, articulation, same thing with the top of the boots right there that spin. His arms actually spin on both of his arms as well right there at the top of the gloves, so those spin, and that's pretty much it. I mean, he has the hip movement as well. So we have the punching action Black Ninja Ranger right here. So when you activate Adam's, his actually goes side to side, not up and down like a lot of the other ones. But when you activate it to the side, it causes, he's kind of like those old like little punch out games where they're, Rock'em Sock'em Robots and all the other stuff that copied Rock'em Sock'em Robots. But that's what you get when you move his lever back and forth. He just punches his arms in and out. But that still really doesn't impede his look. He still kind of displays pretty well in a pretty cool stance. So unlike Rocky, I mean, that doesn't really bother me. And the weapons that we get this tiny little bow and arrow kind of looking crossbow weapon that goes on the back of his hand. And then we get this much larger, this kind of looks like a lot larger grappling hook launcher, kind of. I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to be, but that's what it looks like. It's a little bit larger than the other one. So he holds one in one hand, and then he has the other one on the back of this hand over here. So those are his weapons that he punches and kind of jabs and stabs with. So we'll go ahead and set Adam here to the back, and we will take a look at our last Ninja Ranger that we have to go over, and that will be Iesha back here. Now, once again, as with most of the Ninja Rangers, Iesha's display and her stance and everything, just standing there, looks pretty well. She's not really impeded by the function of her battle action to make her body look any kind of weird, contorted way. So she can stand there with a pretty good stance for display. But her actual battle action is a button on her back, and when you press it, she becomes the kicking yellow Ninja Ranger. Now, unlike just about all of the other ones, she actually has no articulation at the top of her boots, but instead we actually get a knee articulation, and you can actually bend her legs back and forth at the knee. So she's a little unique, and in comparison to all the other ones with her articulation. Now, when it comes to her hands, you can also not spin her hands at all either at the top of the gloves because of the molding and the way that her arms are. So she's probably the most unique figure out of all of them in terms of articulation because she is unlike just about all of the other figures. But she still looks great. I do like her battle action. I mean, it's simple, it works, and it doesn't affect her ability to, you know, stand or display or anything like that. So I really don't have a problem with it at all. Let's go ahead and check out her weapons. So one of her weapons is this claw right here that actually goes on the back of one of her hands. So she gets her claw, and she gets this giant fork looking weapon right here. So she has one of the largest individual weapons if you don't count the net, and that is her little, you know, pitchfork, spiky staff looking thing right here. So that is her two individual weapons. And that is Iesha, the kicking yellow Ninja Ranger. So that is our Ninja Ranger team of all 6 of our Ninja Rangers with the first ever battle action in the 5-inch line of figures. And overall, like I said, I really like the Rangers. They display great. They, besides Rocky looking a little weird with those bowed out arms, they all look great. They display great. They look, you know, just like the Ninja Rangers as far as a 90s 5-inch figure can go. And I'm very happy with the overall look. The battle action of them, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty cool. Some of them bother me a little bit because of the way they made their body look. But the weapons really are kind of out of place. I mean, they never used them in the show, so I personally don't use the weapons for display, but maybe you guys really enjoyed the weapons, and I'll always take extra accessories over nothing. So I'm glad that we got them. I just choose not to display them with the figures. Some of them are pretty big and bulky, but the main reason is because they just never used them in the show, and I just don't like to display them with them. So let me know what your guys' favorite Ninja Ranger was, if you had these particular toys, and if your toys stood up to the test of time. Because from what I've seen so far, you know, they don't break very often, and if they do, it's probably a fairly simple fix, unless it was just completely, you know, someone was too rough with it and they completely broke a gear or something like that inside. But for the most part, they seem to hold up pretty well. Let's go ahead and take a look at these still in the package. We'll go ahead and take a look at the White Ranger. So right here I have my, you know, Thunderbolt sticker included twirling action White Ninja Ranger. So this is Tommy. Now there were 2 basic releases of these. I mean, they're pretty much the same release, but the packaging options were slightly different. One of them is like the ones you see here in front of me. They came with this $3 mail-in rebate on any Saban Home Entertainment Mighty Morphin Power Ranger video. And right here in the back, behind the figure, you can see that little sheet as well. The other option, of course, is without this. So it doesn't come with the large gold sticker or the included sheet behind the figure. So, you know, I don't know which ones they made more of, if the rebates had a larger production or the non-rebates, I'm not sure. But my entire collection of them are the $3 mail-in rebate ones. Maybe you have the regular ones. But the cards and everything are pretty much very similar, almost exactly the same to the Season 2 release Auto Morphin Flip Head Rangers. And, you know, they really didn't change anything much about it. You even still get the lightning bolt. But that is our White Ranger still in the box. We'll go ahead and check out the back. So right here on the back, you can see it shows you the action that figure does and where to place their weapons. It shows all of our Ninja Rangers over here, and then our Season 3 villains with Master Vile. And that is the back of the card. All right, everybody, so that is them still sealed in the package. I'm going to go ahead and take this down. We'll get ready to wrap this video up. Now, if you were looking to get your hands on a set of the Ninja Rangers, they're actually pretty easy to find, and they're not that expensive. You can probably get a whole set for $50 or under in decent shape. Now, if you want all of the accessories, that's probably going to run you more the $75–$80 range. I haven't seen too many people ask over that, even with all of the weapons. But I mean, someone's going to ask whatever they want for their product. But as far as a pretty good price point to pin yourself on, if you want all of the accessories included in good shape, you can probably look at more at that $80 range. But probably still staying under 100. Without accessories, still in decent shape, like I said, you can probably pick up this whole set if you just wanted them for display or something for around the $50, maybe even less range. So that's been the Ninja Rangers. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and until next time, I will see you next video.